shall stand. For your mandate. On your mandate, Bola, on your mandate, Bola, on your mandate, we shall stand. On your mandate, we shall stand. On your mandate, they shall stand. Majority of them no fit stand anymore. Shaking at your mates. Hunger na anybody's mates. And then come they scream now, we voted for you. Which kind of life be this? Electricity bill is high. We can no longer feed anymore. This is not what you promised us. Blah, 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 everywhere. As if to say I should begin to catch emotion. So, sorry. It is true. This whole thing is too hard, though, and all of that stuff. Don't take them serious, so they will do it again. Oh. Okay? Do not fall for those who will tell you they have changed. They did not know that this is what Tinubu will do. This is not what APC promised them, as if to say he promised them anything. Do not catch feelings for bad starts, bad idiots. Remember that, oh, it is for your own good, oh. They are leeches. They are people who want you to be or become what they have become. They are wondering why you are not complaining. And because you are not complaining, even though you are going through the same thing, but you saw it coming, right? And they are lamenting everywhere. Ebing power, what is all of this? Which kind can be this? They are angry that you are not hungry, or you are not showing it. Have you not noticed that they are angry that they are like, so are you now happy that the everything is, we know that some of you are happy that this country is hard, this kineko is this, you know, like they want you to feel guilty that something you personally rejected and did all you could to never be part of. Now that it is currently consuming almost everybody day by day, they are angry that you are not hungry. I've seen them everywhere too. Like, you are happy that people are suffering. Abi, what is funny? They let us all know that, you know, we are all trying to make our country great. You want to make Nigeria better. You supported the APC. You want to make Nigeria better with what APC did to you. You joined them in the tribal war, in the ethnic championship. Some of you are shiri. You know if you finish for una body, you know they finish for madman body, may you know remain, hey, kai, like they say in Yoruba, when you were being sucked into this, your tribal, ethnic, this and that, you were like people caused, sort of like people who are like deranged. But some of you are mad now. That some people are not crying like some of you are, or sounding like they are mocking you. You happy that people are this? You cannot blame people when they vote or you cannot blame them for their choice. It's a democracy, of course. The thing here is that if you can at least remember that what you wished for yourselves, whether you think it through or not, the consequences you must take responsibility too. And if you don't want to, we will shove it down your throat. Electricity tariff. Everywhere don't blow now. And guess what Benkele Messi had to say about that? I'm coming up.
Bitter truth that we also need to tell ourselves as Nigerians. We are all Nigerians. A few people are only privileged to sit on the high table here. We are on the same level. We must be able to talk the truth to ourselves. We don't have the culture of consumption management in this country in terms of power, just because of the cheapness of the tariff we pay in power. A lot of people will come back from work, they want to have dinner, or they want to play with their colleagues down the road. They switch on the AC for the room to be cooling before they come back. Yes, some people will be going to work in the morning. A freezer has been left on for days. They will still leave it on when all the items in the freezer are already frozen. And 5, 6, 8 hours of their absence will not make it to defreeze. They will still leave it. It will continue power just because we are not paying enough. We've all been overseas before. We know how conscious the power consumers are to consumption of electricity. Bitter truth that we also need to tell ourselves as Nigerians.
Nuisance, Lele.
Total nuisance. That is the Nigeria Minister of Power. Now let's, before we go into banters and all that, okay, let us take a look at the announcement for the sake of those of you affected, understanding what has befallen you. And according to them, they are going to still increase it. Okay? So we will start with the minimum wage in Nigeria. Minimum wage in Nigeria is 30,000 naira. Okay? And electricity cost in Nigeria, when these criminals came in, was 30 naira per kilowatt. Then economy tumbled, it became 66 naira. Okay. Now these guys said it is the cheapest in the world. In America, in the UK, in Canada, and a few other places that people sampled. I'll tell you what they found. For example, in the UK, when you convert our money to what a kilowatt is, a kilowatt cost in the UK, convert it to naira, it will give you 165 naira per kilowatt. Do you hear me? 165 naira. If you check that of Canada, from what we heard, when you convert it to Nigerian naira per kilowatt, the electricity in Canada, it is put at 122 naira. If you convert it to Nigerian naira, that's how much it costs per kilowatt in Canada. In the US, from also, people compared, when you convert the cost of a kilowatt of electricity in America to naira, it will come down to somewhere around 140 something naira. It's under 150 naira per kilowatt. Okay? But in Nigeria, it was 66 naira. And it has now been increased to 225 naira. But the scam runs deep. In Nigeria, the electricity board decides who pays more. And according to them, they have customers who pay more. And only 15% or 15 million, according to them, 15 million customers, this announcement will affect. The other customers will not really be affected because they are in a band of people that have been ascribed a certain hours of electricity a day. Now, I'm coming back to that, but don't forget, the minimum wage in Nigeria every month is 30,000 naira, okay? The entire country, all right, according to their central bank, 90% of Nigerians do not have 500,000 naira in the bank. Yes, those of them who have bank accounts. 90% of 210 million people do not have $400 in their bank accounts. Okay, like individually. And they also said it's even worse. All right. And let's even leave that. So talking about exchange rates, the cost of this electricity and the minimum wage. So in the UK, minimum wage per hour is somewhere around 12 pounds sterling. And if you convert, hang on, and if you have minimum of at least 36 hours for a full-timer and 20 hours for a half-timer, people work half-time or those who work full-time. So full-time means in a day or in a week, you stand the chance of having at least 10 hours of job, kind of. All right, even more, right? Or put it this way, in a single day, in the UK, and you are working for, let's say, 4 hours a day, multiply that by 12 times 4, that should be somewhere around 48 pounds. Now, that's for single day, for somebody who is working a very short hour, all right? Now, that person will pay somewhere around, 2 pounds overall for their electricity for the whole day, However, if that person worked for a whole month, they will likely take home more than 1,200 pounds, okay? And in the economy like that of the UK, that person will still be able to pay their bills. But in Nigeria, here is the problem. Your minimum wage, which is still, 30,000 naira, they haven't decided on that yet, means that to power your household, for example, an apartment, if you were paying, just for example, if you were paying, let's say, 5,000 naira, with this increase, right, you begin to pay something around 25,000 naira, okay? However, the explanation they are giving now is that this is not for everybody. So now everybody knows they are banned in Nigeria. There are those in band F, they only give them 2 hours electricity a day. But in reality, those ones in band A that they said they enjoy 20 hours a day, those ones, they can be for weeks, they can be for days without electricity. Now, majority of them will tell you, they barely enjoy, when they bring the light or when they bring the electricity, they barely enjoy 10 hours of it uninterrupted. But the circular says they are the target, they are the customers who pay well. So these pay well customers, for instance, who used to spend 500, let's say 400,000 naira on electricity, now they will be spending about 1.2, 1.3 million naira on electricity. If they were spending about 50,000 naira on electricity before, they will be spending between 170,000 naira and 190,000 naira on electricity every month. These are far off the minimum wage. So those ones are now saying, when did you give us those 20 hours electricity? Like it is like that every day. When? So what they now believe is that since this increase, right, this is what will cause problem now. Before now, people were paying for darkness. Now they will pay more. But the man in charge, which the video you watched earlier, I'm going to replay that video. Okay? Continue to tell everybody that, listen, the government can no longer subsidize. I have no idea that they are subsidizing your electricity. I have no idea. I know they have sold your discos. They were keeping the Gencos. Gencos are like the generating companies, electricity generating companies. Discos are the ones they call the distributing companies. So that one is it's kind of owned by private sectors or so. The generating companies are owned by the government, majorly, I believe. So where are they subsidizing? Is it not what they are generating, they are selling? So if you are generating electricity and you are selling them to the distributing companies, so that is you. So you are the one who wants to collect more money. It is not the distributing companies. So whatever that even means, they have people already explaining on their TV. People like this guy, if you don't mind.
Yeah, electricity tariff increase that has been approved by NEC yesterday, as you have said in your introduction, will only affect the customers in the highbrow areas, the mostly manufacturing industries, as well as people who are, quote unquote, predominantly able to pay for premium power. All other customers on the remaining bands, that is to say the rest of the consumers, other than this 1.8 million people or customers, will not be affected.
Okay, let me come in there. So there are different bands. What you have just said, doesn't it even pose a problem? As you have explained that it will affect mostly maybe companies, manufacturers. You need them, right? It's become more expensive. Isn't that an issue in itself?
Ideally, that should not be a serious problem, because in the absence of grid supply, reliable and adequate grid supply of electricity, these institutions, the companies you talk about now, use alternative sources for powering their systems, their companies, for their operations. So they use diesel to power their operations. They use gas, so self-generation, and perhaps solar. What that does for them is about 300 naira per kilowatt hour to 400 naira per kilowatt hour, depending on what that manufacturer is using. So to bring it to somewhat half the value of that should reduce their energy cost, provided, of course, everything is well implemented, i.e., they get the form of reliable power supply. And when we say reliable power supply, the voltage has to be right, the frequency has to be right. Yeah,
So what do you think a man doing a PR job for electricity companies, what do you think is going to say when he wants to make you feel like, or to justify why he wants more money from you, other than to say, we will guarantee you the stable supply of power for 20 hours? But they never did. And that was a very good question from that host, asking that you are a country that is struggling, and somehow this is, like you said, you have band of customers who pay more. Maybe these are manufacturing companies. So if your economy is in trouble and you are looking on how to really reduce the cost of production, all right, that will also possibly improve what you can call probably like generate more jobs, improve on probably production to the point of expansion. I mean, if businesses makes a profit, they pay taxes, they hire more, they expand instead of shrink, right? And all of that will trickle down on that same economy, I think. Or am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong, Joe, because I believe that is something that any serious or reasonable government will want to do, the manufacturing sector. How? But they are the ones that you get, their cost of production is, according to him, it's more expensive for them to use alternative source of power, like, diesel, petrol, and all that is right. At the end of the day, all of this still end up on the final production, which also will be now shifted on the rest of you, the consumers, the ones they are saying, enjoy the baby walk. It's similar thing, like somebody told me, as they are giving a dollar subsidy right now, in order to cut down what they believe a negative impression for investors, as they say, and those they are targeting. So as they are subsidizing dollars, you are waiting for the cost of living to begin to reduce. Abi, but they are claiming it back on what they call the custom duties. Yeah. Ask those who are bringing things into Nigeria now and how much they have been squeezed to death by the same people who are telling you things will soon be better. So it's like rob Peter, pay Paul, rob with with right hand and still with the left, and continue the same process. Why as you are doing that, it's going to appear like you are walking. I mean, he's busy. Look at his hand, he's walking. He's busy, but it's destroying you. So people like that are there to tell you that don't worry, you're not really going to be affected. And if you are affected, just know that it's for your own good, because we make sure that we keep our own side of the bargain. But in this 2024, the giant of Africa, Nigeria, is telling the whole world that what they know or what they are possibly what they are aware of, that it is the darkness portion of Africa, which is what these guys, they've turned off the light. It is a dark country